Maneva na sema PENDREAM TV. PENDREAM TV de osia dem yopo.
So abusa for me ma akwaba edo ba PENDREAM TV so me pacho wa bai ba ho modern so oba subscribe to the channel no. Wo subscribe button no e wo form on sa nifa so na wa subscribe e de amayen. Na wa like video no so e de aka ho. Wa dwen kire bi susu am pacho wo hwe na wa kire wa dwen e comment section na se ewi a ye beba be kenkan na ya hwe na ya tie ususu wa dwen efa de wo hwe no ho na ya se we share video no ato other platforms so na atumi akọ viral e de amayen abusia enne Speaker of Parliament Alban Sumana Bagbin Kingsford ebe kasai na enne woni kasai mu no okeka bi pa e de kire omampanyin Akufo-Addo anso ono ankasa so osade toa so e de kokeka bi e de kire Chief Justice Tokonu in fact ono so ode bi man pa ka kire omo se ba bi adru no oma ye Ghana bone no ma ye constitution a govern Ghana nyina bone. I said the papa mu a was so omukọ na omukọ pa constitution na chew omon srebo na fache na constitution no emfa chew mo because omaye omu tintintinti no omon nam krum ha no omon aye omo ageman ompese ne constitution aka no omo de to form na so omo de she capital se no omon no eye de ebe suit omo interest o kire mu asa ade no ade a evil nya ade wo say supported na ne san kan nyina akire no abusua Speaker of Parliament Emma ho kwan ma media no ebisa ne nsensem na nsem bebre pie firi enkomo na woni media for no edie no afei na obehu na adwen popa a wasi na se na gina fence agina ya wasi efa de ekoso nyina woni Chief Justice ne Akufo-Addo ntem ne MPP for ntem nyina afei na mepese ebekọ na yakotie nsem no bi ne speech na kasa de e platform no so mpacho ukoye homepage no so a ubenya ne speech no full speech na what me atie enti mepese e be ko na yakutie one eye nsemtwerofo no enkomo no na hunu se Chief Offense Speaker of Parliament onye fadi agro wa ben ankasa na adwene mu do ye kaso obi a wakwadare e wo Ghana amanyo semu ene Ghana memfa nse mrasemu ni constitution nsensemu a untimi sebe entoto papa yi asekra me can say he's the most experienced parliamentarian our Ghana hanma yintimi fa obi antoto no ho emma no enye yi abusua mesre say ye bekọ na yakọ tie enkomo no se ne ekọ so is a friend saying media no any speaker entem na ansa na no me de enkaboi emma pacho se ope akwantu atu se eyama no ne America Asia Europe ba bia okọ Africa ba bia kwantu sem visa nsem obusua nipa obetumi anya omu gidie e de ho ato omo so border cross travel and tour pacho cobra beba bi dia dance de maseda e de abrami number obetumi afro omo asiso 0303 977 006 0303 977 and that's 050041 0007 50041 or from a catch on say PENDREAM TV so and on sa e can number no said be on between attended to you I wish I am caught in kuti and common emra sesia
Speaker of the 8th Parliament with that address. May we please be seated. This is the Speaker's press conference, and he will now take questions from members of the media. We will take them in tranches of 4. Please, brevity is the name of the game. So you get up, you tell us your name, your media house, and then your question. In order for us to get as many questions in as possible, one man, one machete. And please, the preambles, let's just use them. The Director of Media Relations will assist in this particular endeavor.
Thank you very much. Mr. Speaker, my name is Ibrahim Al-Hassan. I report for GH1 TV and Star FM. Okay, so one man, one question. Mr. Speaker, I just want a clarity. Have you re-instructed the clerk to resubmit the Human Sexual Rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill to the presidency, or you're relating to the old instruction you gave, which was rejected during the transmission?
My name is Kwame Minka, TVXYZ Power FM. My question is simple. So tomorrow, as Parliament sits, tell us exactly how the sitting arrangement would be. Because what we've been hearing is that the minority then would be. Because what we've been hearing is that the minority then has its majority, and would they remain as such, or there will be a shift? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Kweku Asante from Joy News and Joy FM. Mr. Speaker, during the proceedings in court, the Attorney General had cause to say that you had committed a crime by illegally procuring the services of Mr. Sorry in litigating those matters in the Supreme Court. Specifically, he puts out a letter that has been signed by the PPA CEO rejecting a sole source procurement that you wanted to do as regards to Mr. Sorry. Please, can you respond to the specifics and allegations that you had committed a crime in that regard?
My name is Havila Kekeli, Class FM. Right Honorable Speaker, there have been several occasions where members of Parliament sometimes, through disagreement with some of your rulings or pronouncements on the floor, use certain words at you. How do you feel about some of these things?
Mr. Speaker, we will respectfully take a fifth one. We'll take a fifth one because of the brevity of the question, so that we can get as many questions.
Thank you very much. My name is John Amesa, and I report for GBC Online. Just to reiterate the point earlier made by my colleague. Speaker, as we speak today, the media, we are somehow confused. You address MP as a minority leader and or a majority leader. You are told that, please, that's not my title. Or they'll just cut the line. Please, can you settle this debate for us? Who is the majority leader today in Parliament?
The Right Honourable Speaker. Mr. Speaker.
These are very interesting questions. The first one is easy. It's a fresh instructions to the clerk to Parliament to resubmit the bill to the President. I'll leave it at that. The second one, please, it's not part of the duties of a speaker to decide where an MP should sit in Parliament. It's not my duty. That determination in Ghana's situation, in various parliaments, these things we are talking about, majority side, minority side, don't exist any longer. That's why in my ruling I use the term old school. The British model, government, opposition, benches, and a carpet in between them. And so when you are shifting your political leaning, you have to cross that carpet to the other side. And that is why you have the term carpet crossing. Our parliament is not arranged in the form of government and opposition. And Ghana don't like the term opposition. So we decided to adopt the terms from the United States of America, majority and minority. So you can even sit anywhere. But the numbers determine who is majority and who is minority. But in our parliament, the practice is for those who constitute majority to sit at the right side of the speaker, and those who constitute minority to sit at the left side of the speaker. That is because after independence in 1957, we adopted the Westminster system, which is practiced in the United Kingdom. But we changed that, even to the extent that the arrangement of the floor of the House is in a horseshoe. So it's not always the case that the people to the left side are all members of minority. That's not the case now. And there's good reason behind this. As in the textbooks. The determination, therefore, in our situation, as to who constitute majority or minority, is a question of numbers. As to where they sit, is the determination first of the political parties who influence who should lead the caucus or party wing in parliament. They, after various consultations, decide that these 5 people should occupy these positions in leadership. And so they are given the chairs in front. Then in consultation with them, the 5 leaders, they determine who should sit behind them. Because as a leader, you need somebody that you have trust, confidence in, who has the capacity, so that when you are in some difficulty or you have a challenge, you can just lean over and listen to his or her whisper. So you have a say as to who sits behind you. The speaker is not involved in this one. The whips, particularly the chief whips, lead in trying to identify who should sit behind. And it also has to do with years of experience in the House, and also the issue of gender and other professional backgrounds, until you get to those who are at the back. Even though we don't sit on benches, we still use the term backbenchers. The speaker is not involved in this. After they have agreed on it, they then get in touch with the parliamentary service through the clerk, who get his officer at the table, together with the marshal, and they'll get the names, print them, and place them on the various tables as decided by the various caucuses. The speaker don't come in this. Please, how can you call speaker to come and decide where people should sit? It's not part of my duties. Number 3. I will plead with you. Go and look at that letter. He's the Attorney General. He did his service in Parliament here. I was leader then, when he was doing his service here. Yes. So I know him very well before he became Attorney General. Read that letter carefully. And that's one of the things they are missing. There's vast difference between Parliament as an institution and the office of the Speaker. The Speaker is the party before the Supreme Court, not Parliament. So as Speaker, when the Attorney General is taking a different position from my position, I should still contract him as my counsel. I will leave it at that. Once I'll meet the Attorney General, and I'll tell him my peace of mind. On some legal issues and pronouncements he made at the Supreme Court. You know, attorney generals must be respected as learned, but it should not be part of what Obama referred to. Not me. It will not work. Number 4. Half of the terms they use against me is part of the hazards of the work. We're doing everything as leaders, not to bring up our youth to believe that indecent, intemperate, insulting and offensive language is the way to go. But people interpret freedom of speech to mean that freedom of speech without responsibility. You can just use any word. But you know how offensive it is to you yourself or your parent when it's used against your father or mother. But for me, what I believe in is that you reap what you sow.
Bam.
That one, nobody can run away from it. I think the last question, I answered it. As to who is majority, who is minority, I made it clear to all of you. It's not a function or duty of the Speaker.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. We will take the next tranche. I see Ahmed, the Director of Media Relations, is working to do that. Again,
thank you
your
very
name?
Much. My name is Ahmed Usman Khalid, Imam Zakaria, Gurguruwe. No, I have to plead the Constitution. Please, I beg mine. Yes, can you open Article 1 or 2? I just want to quote what the Chief Justice read in Supreme Court in the absence. My name is Ahmed Usman Khalid, Imam Zakaria Gurguruwe. Oh, a freelance journalist, not from MPP headquarters, please. My school fees was paid by the Speaker, so. Council, Article 2. Yeah, I just want to read what the Chief Justice read in the absence of the Speaker. I didn't want to paraphrase, I just want to read. Article 2. She says this way. 1. A person who alleges, I'll leave all and come to surplus 4. Failure to obey or carry out the term of an order or direction made or given under the clause 2 of the article in this Constitution commits a high crime under this Constitution and shall, in the case of the President or the Vice President, constitute a ground for removal from office under this Constitution. Right Honourable Speaker, this was read before an open court, Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court was saying that it has instructed you to adhere to its orders. Failure is that she's going to apply Article 2, Clause 4 on you. That even the President or the Vice President, if they go contrary, or if they may refuse to, follow the order, they suffer this particular punishment. Right Honourable Speaker, have you gone contrary to the Supreme Court's orders, ruling, or judgment? Thank you very much.
Okay, my name is Evans Tulabi from TVSYZ and Power FM. Mr. Speaker, we want to know whether the 4 seats which were declared vacant still remain vacant.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My name is Simon again. I report for the Accra Times. In one of the interviews, former Majority Leader Honorable Chiemensah had with Joy News, he said after your predecessor, former Speaker Michael Kay, gave the ruling in 2020, he disagreed with former Speaker Michael Kay, and you supported his stance. I want to find out why did you go back to support your former predecessor when you expressed disagreement with his earlier ruling? Thank you.
Thank you, Speaker. My name is George A.C. and I'm with Ghana Web. By your ruling on the 17th, the 4 MPs were supposed to have vacated their seats, and the court has ordered them to come back. What is your instruction to the clerk and those who are responsible? Are they going to be allowed to come into Parliament or not?
Thank you very much, Rather Honorable Speaker. My name is Nana Kweku Bofa, and I work with Opemso Radio in Menchia, Kumasi. Speaker, you have been accused of interpreting 1992 Constitution when you declare the 4 seat vacant. Speaker, I want to know, did you do so? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Director. I think we've taken the fifth one. And so, Mr. Speaker may answer the 5 questions with Kweku Bofa's on whether he misinterpreted the provisions in the 1992 constitutions when he declared the 4 seats vacant. Mr. Speaker.
Well, you're talking about the same matter using different words. But that is before the Supreme Court. And I've given instructions to my lawyers to handle that. So that is not a matter for me to comment on. My lawyers are handling that. So all questions we were dealing with, those issues before the court, will allow the court to handle that. What I'll draw attention to is that the practice and procedure of Parliament is unknown to many, including the court. And anything I do on the floor, I refer to the standing orders. The courts can declare the standing orders as unconstitutional or unlawful or whatever. Until that is done, as the presiding officer, I'm bound on issues of procedure, proceedings, and practice, apply those rules. And that is what we did. That is why in my statement, I drew your attention to the fact that what I did on the floor was just sharing of information, communicating to the members that this issue that was raised, and by the standing orders, I have options. Could have set up a committee to go through it and submit a report. That report could even lead to legislation. Or I could go and inquire into it myself and then come and inform the House of my findings. That is in the standing orders. That is what I said is being construed to mean ruling. In our parliamentary practice, you don't make ruling when statements are made. Statements are commented upon. But the nature of the subject matter was debatable. And because of its importance, I had to give room for many more members to comment. But in trying to comment, they debated it. So that was what happened. But I'm clear as to my rule. Just inquire into it, come and share with the House in the form of information what your findings revealed. And that was all what I did. I did not make any order. Go and read the proceedings. I did not make any order. And for my friend, a veritable Honorable Oseche Mensa Bonsu, I'm sure he showed you the evidence when we had that discussion. He disagreed, and I supported him, and now I have made a U-turn. I thought you should have asked him when my predecessor made the ruling, whether his side disagreed with him and allowed the same member, who is now second deputy speaker, to continue to sit, or his seat was vacated. Did they agree with him or disagree with him? You should have asked him. So that one, you need to produce evidence to show that this is what happened. I don't know where we sat and held a discussion, or it's on the floor and the official reports are there for you to go and read, whether I got up and in my contribution disagreed with my predecessor. That is for you to make your findings on. And what's the last question? I answered all. Yes. That's it.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. We'll take 2 more tranches and then we'll be done. We're doing well so far. The Director of Media Relations is still going around with the microphones.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. You said the President and the Judiciary have sinned against the... My name is Ohene Pons. I work with Adom FM and Adom TV. Now, you said the President and the Judiciary have sinned against the Constitution. Would you tell us more on that? What would you say that will be the things or the acts they have done that will constitute, in your opinion, sin against the Constitution?
Good afternoon, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Nia Ikuoka. I work for City FM and Channel 1 TV. Now, Article 112, Clause 3 of the Constitution, as well as the Standing Orders 53, have been invoked by the NPP caucus for the 3rd time this year, whenever you adjourn the House indefinitely. Now, we want to find out, is this an abuse of that provision, and what has been its impact on other legislative processes? Thank you.
My name is Emmanuel Akoli of Peace FM. Speaker, a number of people have described this 8th Parliament as very chaotic, based on events that which happened when this Parliament came into being and what is happening currently. Mr. Speaker, how do you see this Parliament? Are you proud of the 8th Parliament? Thank you.
Good afternoon, Mr. Speaker. My name is Kwabena Efrain Martin. I report for Original TV and Original FM. Mr. Speaker, I would like to know what influenced your decision of adjourning Parliament Synod the last time we had our sittings, and what will be your decision if the same situation which happened the last sittings continue tomorrow?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. My name is Clement Akolo. I report for Parliamentary News 360. I also double as the Communication Officer for Parliamentary Network Africa. Mr. Speaker, you mentioned that both the president and the judiciary have sinned. And when you look at Article 122 of the Constitution, it talks about contempt of Parliament. So if they have sinned, do they fall far of the contempt of Parliament, and what are you going to do about it? Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ben. I think that's the fifth question for this tranche. I get the feeling that this could be the last one. Am I right, colleagues? Mr. Speaker, with your kind permission, if you may answer the 5 questions that have been referred to.
Two of you raised a question about the sinning of the president and the judiciary. Please go through the Constitution or the laws of Ghana. There is nowhere where the president can refuse to receive a bill passed by Parliament. In fact, the crafters of the Constitution are so careful that they even took away veto power from the president. So in Ghana, our president cannot veto a bill passed by Parliament. It's clear in the Constitution that the president will receive the bill passed by Parliament. If he has concerns, he will communicate to Parliament that I have concerns on this bill that you have passed within 7 days. Then he has 14 days to put across those concerns back to Parliament, and Parliament is called upon to reconsider the bill, taking his inputs into consideration. That is what is in the Constitution and the laws of Ghana. So if the president refuses to even receive the bill, what has he done to the Constitution? You understand? 2, in the Constitution, the president is permitted to refer the bill to the Council of State for advice. He didn't even do that. So the term I even used is very mild. In the case of the judiciary, a bill is a bill. It's not law. It's just a bill. This is a draft that is being discussed. The judiciary is going to do what? Be part of the law-making process. Tell us what to do in the bill. It's only when it's passed and assented to by the president, then it becomes law, that the judiciary can come in to interpret and enforce. There's nothing like that. And this is something that immediately, with supersonic speed, it should have been jettisoned, not entertained at all by the court. Now what it means is that anytime any bill is before us, and we are working on it at this stage, anybody can just take it to the courts. And that will mean that Parliament will have to stop and wait until the final determination of what? What are they to determine? Please. We are doing this for Ghana, and not for only today's generation, for generations yet unborn. We are building a durable, sustainable governance structure that gives certainty to everybody. That is the rule of law that prevails, not of man or the rule by law. The two are not the same. When you rule by law, people are not certain of the law. And so even investors ran away. And as a leader for so many years, from 2001, I've been a leader. I can mention so many serious investors who say they will not invest in Ghana because of uncertainty of the law. Attempts to invest here, you definitely have branches of the law, and then the courts and the system cannot tell you what the law is, and they lose a lot. So when you talk about unemployment, underdevelopment, and the rest, now who caused it? Leadership, I believe strongly, is cause. Everything else is effect. Even though followers matter. Followers matter. And that is where, in fact, we applauded the efforts of the president when in his inaugural speech, he talked about us being citizens and not what? Spectators. Today, Ghanaians are now more spectators than citizens. I think you have to wake up and become the citizens that he called us to be. That is where I'm moving towards. I don't have any ill will or malice, no. I don't have any ambition. If there's Honorable Bagbin or whatever people don't want, please, that one, I can assure you, I'll go and relax. And my holy village is always there to welcome me. I don't have any problem at all. But once I sit here, I take the decisions and I'm responsible. Nobody else but me. That's why I started with my oath. I swore the oath. And at the end of the day, when I'm to account for my life to my Creator, nobody is to do that with me. I'll be alone. And I'll be there. Those of you who will come later. Because I believe in life after death. In fact, we are even told that place is better than here. So I have no problem with dying. I'm always prepared anytime to die. But you will come after that. And you will come and meet me there. I'll tell you what seniority means.
The Right Honourable Speaker shall live to tell of the good works of the Lord.
Hey, there's one on there.
Oh, okay. I have indications that there are some two critical questions. So maybe after that, yes, then we can quickly go on.
Oh, recall. I can say it's an abuse. The Constitution permits them to do what they do. It's just that, please, don't only think about today. Also think about tomorrow when you are doing some of these things. And for me, as I sit here, I thought the focus of those in government shall be about government business, not even the position they occupy. Which is more important? It's government business. And for the position you occupy, if you work well, you may even get a higher position. It's the good people of Ghana who will decide. So I'm surprised that some people are focused on that one. But tomorrow, you will hear from me.
we are bringing proceedings to a close, but I see
our
that
parliament so far is transformatory. In fact, this is a parliament, I've been from the 1st to the 8th. The first was foundational, and the late Right Honorable Justice Daniel Annan had to use all his experience and wisdom to establish the parliament. And so he started by transforming the rules that we inherited from the 79 to 81 parliament, that's the Third Republic, and also putting the structures and personnel in place, creating the opportunity for further training, education, and the rest. He did that. The second parliament, led by the late Right Honorable Peter Alajiti, focused on trying to strengthen the second speaker, I should say.
Second speaker, third parliament.
To strengthen the institution of parliament. And you recall sometimes he had some rough edges with the president. No wonder he lasted for 4 years only. And it established a 4-year term for Speaker of Parliament. The fourth was trying to stabilize the third speaker. And that was Right Honorable Ebenezer Sechi Hughes. I worked with all of them. The fifth came, and that was our beautiful lady, Supreme Court Judge, Justice Edeline Bamford Ado. And she, with her experience from the bench, focused on the rules and dignity of the House. So you could see her dressing, her posture, her patience, and everything mattered to the institution. Then, the next speaker, that was my brother, a very good friend of mine, who was my chief whip, became my deputy leader when I was the leader. Later on became first deputy speaker and became speaker. So he used his experience in the House and his connection with members, particularly their dealings at the Parliamentary Service Board, to initiate a lot of things. And then our professor came, who in the 1990s used to come to the workshop of Parliament to take us on issues of governance and the rest, because he was lecturing at the University of Ghana, the Political Science Department. So we studied together. So I knew him long before he came. And I happened to be the second deputy speaker to him. So I have all that record and all the happenings in the House. And I saw how we struggled to change the rules of the game. But before I became speaker, the voters changed the rules. And so you now don't have a majority where you can just sit down and just put the question. And you are sure the ayes have it. And so most of the time, there is no day that I will go and preside without calling the leaders to my lobby for us to go through the agenda of the day, which is usually captured on what? The order paper, yellow. This is what is on the paper, cut from the business statement. How do we handle it? Then the leaders will tell me those that they agree, those that they disagree. Even when they disagree, how do we handle it? We discuss all that. Okay, how many from each side of the House? We discuss that. How many minutes per person? We discuss that. Then I just come to preside and enforce what we have discussed. That is why it's difficult for us to be sitting at 10. Because sometimes I have to get them to make sure that there's some peace before we go out there. This is what we do on daily basis. I just don't come and preside and impose my ideas. Even when it goes to voting, we agree. We will oppose. If you give ayes during the voice vote, we will challenge your decision. We will count heads. We will do secret voting. We will not allow public voting. We discuss all this. And so even some of the discussion at that period, when leaders go on air and go and reveal those conclave confidential information, what is that meant to achieve? I should not invite them to discuss things with them again. And what will happen on the floor? In spite of all that, for 4 good years, people are still not appreciative. And I am the target. Hey, this is my God. Hey, he's a living God. So please.
Mr. Speaker, we are live on GH1, GBC.
Oh, you are live.
And I would crave your indulgence that we take. I've seen some crucial questions that I think must be asked so that we can round up, so that they don't surcharge us for spending too much of their live airtime. And so we'll take the final tranche of questions, and then we will bring proceedings to a close. Very quickly, name, media house, question, no preamble.
Thank you very much. My name is Ernest Kofiedu. I work with the Daily Guide newspaper. Right, Honorable Speaker, at the last agenda date, you said that because of the issue of composition and that of the fact that Parliament had the correct number to do business, but didn't have the correct number to undertake decision. You are recalling the House tomorrow. Can you tell us whether these issues have been addressed and whether there has been meeting between yourself and the leadership of the House such that tomorrow's recall will also not degenerate into that confusion? Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, good afternoon. My name is Prince Asare from PEN TV. In your speech, you just said that you expressed concern about the fact that members of the House now are resorting to the Supreme Court to deal with conflicts that happen in the House. And you believe that that wouldn't help. Now we are having a conflict now. And I want to know that how do we handle this conflict resolution process and who is to initiate it? Because you said you have been doing this for many years. So how can we come together and solve this impasse?
Thank you. Let's move on.
My name is Isaac Ando, a freelance journalist. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. In your speech, you indicated that the matter before the Supreme Court could have been handled internally through dialogue and compromises. Please, is it too late?
We are rounding up. Is there? Have we satisfied you now from this corner? Okay, I think we can. No Jara. I think we can successfully bring proceedings to a close with Mr. Speaker answering these questions. But I must also indicate that, Mr. Speaker, that TV3, 3FM, Joy FM, they are all broadcasting live. In fact, I have received City FM, GH1 TV, and I think, is it TV? They are all live. So today's been one of the days that we've had the most live coverages, and we are grateful to you. Before the Deputy Clerk comes to say thank you, just to let you know that we are live on all these channels and on our own channels as well.
I'm extremely grateful to the media for this coverage. That is what is expected of the media. And truly, for these 32 years, without the media, we wouldn't have gone this far. So, congratulations. We can always disagree, but once we have agreed to disagree as part of our life, it's permitted. There's no problem with that. Please, as to what will happen tomorrow, I don't know. I don't know, because I don't control that. But you know, what happened the day of the adjournment? I don't see the young man again. Oh, you are the one standing up there. Yes. You know, as I told my friends on the NPP side, I had 3 options after you walked out. And it was only left with the NDC members. I could have proceeded with the business. Would they have been approved by the NDC MPs for government? Even if they did, would they not go and raise an issue about quorum to take decision? So that was not a legally accepted option. I could have decided to adjourn till the next day. But knowing the nature of the disagreement, would it have been solved within one night? No. Because I've seen that the nature of the disagreement goes beyond the house to the powers outside the house. And so we needed to engage many more people to be able to resolve the disagreement. So you need more time. And since I couldn't estimate the time, I decided that it should be what? Indefinite. After we resolve that, then Parliament could be recalled. If people were mindful that there's some agency for us to resolve it, they would have come together faster for us to talk, negotiate things, resolve it, and come back. But I tell you, apart from some senior citizens, patrons of the country, who actually got in touch with me, the leadership of the NPP members have not gotten in touch with me. They haven't. My good friend Oseche Mensah Bonsu spoke to me because he wasn't even around when this thing happened. And we discussed this and I threw more light on it. And he said, oh, he didn't know before granting interviews. He said those things, but now he can also say I should bring my official report, you know. So, to the best of my knowledge, I don't know of the resolution of the disagreement. And so I don't know what will happen tomorrow. But I will be available to preside. You understand? And so that is the situation now. The last question. Proposal. Proposal. Well, am I now to propose it to you and Ghanaians? Or I should have been making the proposals to the parties so that they can be negotiating and compromising? I think that's the best way to do. And I'm expecting that, in fact, I need to praise some leaders because the first to get in touch with me, I think, was Apostle Nyamiche and the boss of the Christ Apostolic Church. They were the first to come to express concern
and had a lengthy discussion. You know, then later, a delegation of the Council of State also came to meet me in the office. And when I explained all the situation to them, in fact, many of them were really surprised because what they heard on air and what I had told them and said they could cross-check from the proceedings or other things, they were really surprised because they didn't know that was what took place. There was so much misinformation and all those, and I don't want to go into those details because they are before the court. At the end of the day, the judgment of the court will set a lot of precedents. But don't forget, the law is that the Supreme Court can always differ from its earlier decision. That is a danger. So for a purpose, I can give a judgment and ruling to favor the situation. Tomorrow, I say, no, I disagree with that. And that is permitted by law. So when you tell me that, it means that the Supreme Court is supreme. And so when it orders, I must obey. When I know the same Supreme Court can disorder, you have to raise a question back. I'm a lawyer by profession. And the first time I appeared in the Supreme Court was 1983. 1983. That was my first case in the Supreme Court. I don't know whether those who are going there now were born, but it's okay. The last one is when I was young, I think when we were in the senior high, we were not calling it senior high, we were calling it secondary school. There was some song, it's too late to say that you are sorry. After you broken my heart. When I needed you to satisfy my soul. You turn your back and said,
now I think we should add singer to Mr. Speaker's because the skills keep adding as we go along. I said he was an old woman in an old man's skin. He refused, but and so I think that you don't agree with me that we've had a very fruitful good afternoon. Mr. Speaker, may I also acknowledge that Daily Graphic Online, Class FM, Channel 1 TV, Onua TV and FM, newsalertgh.com live, and many other news portals are streaming live. Like I indicated, we are truly grateful. Mr. Speaker has said that he's grateful. As we bring proceedings to a close, Mohammed Nyagzi will give us the closing prayer. But before that, the Deputy Clerk in charge of Legislative Management, Camilo Puamal, will officially thank us, and then Mohammed will thank Allah, and then Mr. Speaker will take leave of us.
So, enti abusia for a year and komwa yakotwe free a year Parliament of Ghana abra Speaker of Parliament ne msemchrofo nyina ekuhia na omo ede omo ensem ene omo niso adi hunu ene omo questions ede man after say owie ni speech no eno ena yakoyi ede abra mo no mo ankasa amanitua said the esikoye Mr. Speaker Alban Sumana Kingsford Bagbin wa chrese unimde. What time was in the first time or the call Supreme Court, the first case or the call Supreme Court 1983. So time na judges ya omotete to ebinum krampo mu university. Sa judges ya omotu ane omo person mu disrespect or no speaker no abusia na sa abre no omumu bi krampo nwie university enne manya opportunity akotena ho na with Mr. Speaker ne experience our Ghana our system we mu our mramu our parliament adiyum na o de one day bet na ho a disgrace no a disrespect no a despise no as if say onye obi as if say onim ne oye na ono atena ho ahwe ama de ekoso no akoso there bi speaker oma ho kwansa speaker oncheli abusuya and next speaker kasa ama miama hu say papa yi oye statesman trust me papa no oye statesman e kasa obi a statesman obi asebi odwene oman no ho onfa ni interest entoto ho say ebia ono no opesika bi ube man sika na chese ono dia hye butu na chese there be wa demonstrate say oman no first Ghana first, and I know that this man would never fail us. Ochina ye nyina betena se ne yakotie di ebesi enye kasa bibiri enye ntokwa bibiri. Excuse me, ochina de ewo haya abusuafo, ochina ewo haya yentwen na yenhwe de ebesi yentie de ebekoso aka nothing ama yakoto aba abusuafo ayere so by fencing less than a month and china 7th so china 7th and it's aka 1 month 1 month na ye di akosisi so ye di akohyehe so na bribi besi yes many aji say ye wo speaker we our parliament many so aji say nyame nam ni nyansa ne na dwempo pa o ma Ghana na otumi enforce ye ema speaker we ofri NDC mu ene kotena ho kanye sa command we kaye ye ho be mobo say kaye ho be mobo say speaker why ade first na maintenance toda decisions bi e koso ne ho ade na maintenance ba fe ne mahu na dwempo a na owo man no ho ntia sometimes ya na obu NDC for na samaguso no tu atena na wa ye dia ban no pa ma no said ye be ya o man no e be governable senian ko ba ne say because say o ye pe o parliament inti parliament no hwa ma o man na ye governable na akoye nsem na hobi ama ono ene ne parliamentarians who na de bi on pesa edimbone no into o try say obehwe ama bibia kototin enunti eno say every morning answer na omobeko parliament asetran mu no oni leadership no tenase e discuss ye biribia wo demo answer na ntunia obehunu say ekoso parliament ye fence chamber hono no na adika akoso dada ewo speaker office such a speaker very experienced man and yenyano and we must hail him, we must praise him, we must commend him na said ye be said na ho ma wona o china bi musu betumi anya sa seat ni bia occupy no o ma hwe Ghana first abusia aha PENDREAM TV message also subscribe to the channel, like your video na share to other platforms am I na message also wa adwenkyere bi so afato comment section no ase efama subscribe button no eno ene wo ase ho no ade kokko no subscribe my na intimi mu ama ye dwumade ayi di no ha na intimi enkoso PENDREAM TV yase edamu yopo
Debi kama amena PENDREAM TV ase na so far so good say open online portal e wo Ghana nipa share nipa follow nipa comment here to my best of knowledge without any biases PENDREAM TV.
PENDREAM TV nyame hira opane adwuma kese a wo ye debi amehwe o YouTube and all other social media platforms. It's Ramon follow PENDREAM TV. Very fantastic. Doing a lot of the channel.